What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be talking about just what exactly this love letter mode could be that the devs are talking about, judging by a few rumours circulating in the community at the moment and some stuff that actually came out before the reveal of the game even happened. For those who aren't sure what I'm talking about when I say the love letter mode, DICE have essentially categorised Battlefield 2042 into 3 separate sections of the game. We have All Out Warfare, which is the regular Battlefield experience where those game modes like Conquest and Breakthrough are, and this is just regular Battlefield, so just exactly the type of stuff we've always been used to. There's then the Hazard Zone game mode, which we don't really know too much about just yet. All they've told us is that it is a high stakes squad based game mode, and it's being likened to something similar to a Battle Royale, but not exactly the same as a Battle Royale. So that's essentially the second category or section of the game, and if you guys want to hear more about that, I do actually have a full video on the channel. Now the third section is what I'm referring to as the love letter mode, or it's probably more commonly being called the Battlefield Hub by most in the community, because we have no idea at all what this game mode is going to be, and we have no idea of the name of it either. All DICE have told us is that this is a love letter to the Battlefield fans, hence why myself and many others are referring to it as the love letter mode, or like I said, the Battlefield Hub. So like I said, today we are going to just be going through some of the rumours and supposed leaks that have come out about this mode and what it could be. They do seem to line up pretty well with some leaks that have come out from notable Battlefield leaker Tom Henderson, and while I do think this is what it will likely end up being, or at least close to it anyway, I do just want to say that none of this is by any means confirmed, so please take all of this information with a grain of salt, because it could be way off once we actually hear some news at EA Play later this month. So anyway, a few months back, long before the game was even revealed, there were a few supposed leaks and rumours going around the community that the next Battlefield game was actually going to be essentially a hub for all things Battlefield, which definitely sounds confusing, but it has been explained a little bit further since then. While this was initially thought to be the entire game, it now seems that it could actually just be this one section of the game that DICE haven't announced yet, considering the fact that they have mentioned its existence and that it is a love letter to the fans, but they've given no extra details on it just yet. So there's obviously something special about this section of the game, and it does seem to line up pretty well with these leaks. Like I said, it was referred to as a hub for all things Battlefield, and what that supposedly meant was that there were going to be different pieces of content from a lot of previous games in the franchise, all just sort of jumbled into one mode or one section of the game, essentially combining all of the different eras together and having this crazy sort of mode where you can use Battlefield 1 weapons on a Battlefield 3 map and drive vehicles from Battlefield 4 and all sorts of combinations like that. Now, it sounds absolutely wild at face value, I know, but when you dive into it, the possibilities do actually sound pretty awesome. We've seen something, I guess, somewhat similar to this in Warzone now, where there are obviously the modern weapons from Modern Warfare alongside Cold War weapons from Black Ops Cold War, and it allows for some pretty awesome combinations that just weren't really available before that. The thing that makes it even more exciting than Warzone is that rather than all of this happening on just one single map that has been in the game since launch, this could take place across a heap of the classic Battlefield maps from each game, taking essentially just all of the fan favourites from Battlefield 3, 4, 1 and 5, and allowing you to use different weapons from each of those games, different vehicles, and pretty much just anything you can think of, and combining them all into one huge chaotic game mode. Now obviously this raises a lot of questions about balancing and all that kind of thing. Obviously the modern weapons are far more powerful than the Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 weapons, so it does sound like it could be a pretty hard thing for DICE to handle, but from what these leaks have said, this mode isn't necessarily meant to be some super competitive balanced game mode like most other games. Rather, it's essentially just completely for fun, and it is meant to be a much more casual experience than the regular Conquest or Breakthrough modes, where obviously they are still fairly casual, but they're obviously balanced and stuff like that. In many other shooters, there are often game modes that are clearly just for a bit of a laugh, stuff like Prop Hunt in certain Call of Duty games, for example, where they're just meant to be more for a bit of a laugh and to just create some funny little gameplay moments rather than the regular gameplay experience that those games offer. So that's probably the best comparison that can be made here, in that this Battlefield Hub is literally just the casual, relaxing, funny version of the actual game itself. The leaks mentioned that the movement and gunplay and all that kind of stuff will be from Battlefield 2042, however the maps themselves and the weapons, vehicles and just everything else you can use will be essentially just remasters of that old content. So like I said, all of the fan favourite maps from those older games, the best weapons, or possibly even all of the weapons, although that could be a bit of a stretch. But from what we've heard in these leaks, this is going to be a hell of a lot of content if it does turn out to be true, and it apparently will be getting updates as it goes, so more classic maps, weapons and content along the lines of that. This would definitely explain why the base game itself does seem to be slightly lacking in content compared to older titles. Obviously there are only 7 maps, and so far there's only Conquest and Breakthrough confirmed, so this Battlefield Hub could be the reason behind why the base game seemingly has a little bit less at launch, although obviously as time goes on there will be plenty of content added to the base game as well. It's definitely a very very interesting and pretty exciting prospect in my opinion, being able to play on maps like Noshar Canals and Siege of Shanghai with the graphic fidelity of Battlefield 2042, and being able to use a ton of different weapons from other games as well. It does all sound like a heap of fun to me personally, and while I likely wouldn't play it as much as the actual base game, it would definitely be a nice change of pace when things are a little bit slow to just jump into this Battlefield hub and muck around with some mates, so I really do hope this rumour ends up being true. Like I said though, this is all just rumours and supposed leaks as of right now. We have no actual confirmation about any of this, and so I do just want to end the video by saying again that this should be taken with a grain of salt. I'm fairly sure DICE have confirmed that we will be hearing more about this mode at EA Play, which takes place on the 22nd of July, and so we're just going to have to wait and see what they reveal and whether or not these leaks do turn out to be real. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of these rumours so far and whether this is something you guys would like to see come to the game. I personally think it's an awesome way to sort of pay homage to the older titles and let us relive those games to some extent, and giving us a nice change of pace from the main game mode and Hazard Zone, but I'm definitely keen to hear what you guys have to say as well. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. Thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.